Hey Adam, hope you had a good evening. I was playing this drum last night. I stepped away from the Bucks County rack to go through some drums that are in my studio. This is a killer freaking drum that I do not play enough. Steam bent Single-Ply Elm by Sweeney. It's on my top shelf for anytime I need a real kind of cracky wood sound in the studio. Right now it's cranked, so I'm going for that like Brazilian snare drum sound. Sweeney had developed, I don't know if they're still using it, this throw off that looks like they're lugs. It's a 2-position throw off. It kind of goes from like sloppy to really tight. I wish there was something spot in the middle as well. So this is the loose tension. This is the tight tension. Sounds cool, cranked like that. I'm gonna try bringing it down. I originally had it considerably lower for recording. So let's see, it is an 8-lug drum. It does have the Slingerland style stick saver hoops. Still pretty cracking. Let's see what note that is. It's in between a G and a G sharp. It's like 201 hertz. What's up, Felipe? Let's go down another 1/8 of a turn. See if it kind of fattens up. that's 195 hertz. That's rated the G. Usually where I keep it for a starting point. Let's go down another eighth of a turn. Should be getting close to an F sharp. 190. It's like a sharp F sharp. Hey man, if I'm inspiring you to practice in any way, that is a success in my book. Like it still retains a lot of the kind of the crackiness. Get down another eighth. This is a 1/4 inch thick steam bent elm. With, I think the, let me see. Yeah, the re-rings are actually part of the shell. They're CNC'd out of, so I guess it starts as a 1/2 inch thick shell and then they CNC out the interior. So the re-rings are about 1/2 inch, but the rest of it's about 1/4 inch. Now at F sharp 185. That's F sharp. Let's keep going. I don't think I've had it lower than this before. This head is maybe at the end of its life here. .178, in between an F and an F sharp. BPM.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's a weird tempo.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
I think single 30 seconds will be a little bit too frantic.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. 1, 2.
What you could do is tap rolls.
3, 4.
Maybe did a short burst of 30-second notes, it could be cool. Tap rolls are just smoother. Gives you more kind of like a fluid sound. So that's what I would do. Short bursts of 30-second notes. If you want to do anything longer, I would use double strokes. There's no best option, it's just whichever gets the right emotion across. If it needs to be aggressive, kind of punk, Travis Barker, whatever, then do singles or metal. It's just a very big statement. It's not something I would do going into the first chorus. Just different feelings. I prefer to go smoother whenever it's not expected for me to play aggressive. So I prefer doubles. All right, that's pretty low and sloppy. Let's see if we can go down another half step. Hopefully it's detuned a bit already. Just from smashing it around. So now we're down into E, 165 hertz, E. I would say, unless you're Buddy Rich, that's pretty fast.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
But I could play those doubles.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
6-stroke roll is easier to play because you got less notes.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
I rate this drum very high. I said early on the stream that this is on the top shelf of my recording rack for a medium shallow wood drum. It's about as good as it gets. I don't love the throw off just because it goes from really tight to really loose. Like that's probably tighter than I would ever use it unless I'm going for that compressed thing. But then the first position is really loose. Eight lugs, single point lugs, Doc Sweeney proprietary single point lugs. They're making great stuff. As far as Single-Ply steam bent shells, I personally say I like it better than most Craviatos. It's not as boxy as a lot of steam bent shells can be. Put a sharper edge on it. They're not trying to go vintage with it. This has the 2.3 stick saver hoops. Which I think I might swap out with some 2.3s or some die cast. I can still get, it's still going down lower. This is a D sharp, so 157-ish. It's down there. So it's a very well-rounded drum. If you haven't checked out Doc Sweeney's steam bent snare drums, highly recommended. This is the pure series, because the shell and the re-rings are all made from the same one plank of wood. So I mean, that's, in my opinion, this drum is not the one I would go for that sound. I would probably go for an Acolyte or something. But in that medium and high, from medium low to high, or say medium to high, it's about as good as it gets. Feels nice. If I had to pick 3 snare drums to go the rest of my life with, different combinations, I would probably do a deep supraphonic, so 6.5 by 14 aluminum, chrome over aluminum, a shallow Black Beauty, black nickel over brass, 5 by 14. And then some kind of medium deep wood drum. Could be this one. This is a good option. 5.5 by 14 solid elm. Or I do have a Craviato maple that's really nice. Or any number of these Bucks County. I mean that Mach 12 or Mach 1. It's a deeper wood drum. So I would do a deep aluminum drum for like the classic rock Led Zeppelin sound. A shallow brass drum for the real hi-fi, crispy kind of stuff. And then a medium or deeper wood drum for all the darker, woodier sounds. And then if I expand from there, I would just fill them out. So I would go with, if I'm doing a deep wood drum, I would grab a shallow wood drum would be the next thing I would add. And then I would do a shallow aluminum drum and a deep brass drum. I kind of love this drum right there. I've played a bunch of carbon fiber drums over the years, and they are incredible. They're fantastic, super versatile, very kind of modern sounding, but not, you know, they have some fatness. They're kind of like chameleons. Whatever heads you put on them are going to really affect the way they sound. I don't own any carbon fiber drums because they were really expensive at the time. But I played a Canopus one that was amazing. A few different companies had offered them at one point. Rocket Shells, I think, was making them. If I had acrylic is a different beast. I've had some acrylic drums too, and they are they have no personality. Very affected by the drum heads. I would say carbon fiber is way, way better than acrylic, and then fiberglass is somewhere in the middle. If I had one drum I could have for the rest of my life, it would be a 5x14 Black Beauty. 100%. I can do everything I needed to do. The concrete drum that DW put out, if that's still available, is a joke. I would not recommend it. And then there was also a bamboo drum that I wanted to like, I just didn't. I would say the same thing about these insanely overpriced bell brass on steroids things that are popping up. They're just not worth it. I got a bell brass for, it's not a Tama, it's a Mashes of Maple replica to the original Tama, like exact specs. I paid $1,200 for that, and that was a really big stretch. But it is a very special drum. But once they get up to 2,000 and more, you're just getting kind of silly. So I don't condone any of that stuff. I still have the George Way 7x14 gold top maple poplar. Incredible drum. That's my like wide open Steve Jordan, Sheryl Crow era drum. It is amazing. It also does the tight jazzy Philly Joe Jones kind of thing really well. Black Beauties are only available in 5x14 or 6.5x14. I think they added an 8x14, but a true Black Beauty is 5 inches deep or 6.5 inches deep. I like the shallower Black Beauty better because it does the really quiet, delicate stuff really nicely, but it still has a nice, heavy, weighty sound. Whereas the deeper Black Beauty, it's still an amazing drum. It just doesn't do the low volume, kind of crispy, articulate stuff as well. Versus the 5 will do the big, wide open, fat thing just as well as a 6.5. The only thing it can't do is, I would say if you play extremely hard, it could choke out. But yeah, 5x14 Ludwig Black Beauty with the seamless brass shell is number 1 pick. I have not seen a 100th anniversary heirloom Black Beauty. If it's a 5.5x14, it's not a Black Beauty shell. If it doesn't have the bead in the middle, it's not a Black Beauty shell. It's still probably amazing. The Rogers Power Tone is an amazing drum. I have one. It is a little bit, at least mine, I would say, my Power Tone was chrome over brass, 5x14, or maybe 5.5, I'm not sure. From the 70s, so it's the Fullerton era. That is like right in between a Black Beauty and a Superphonic to me. It's got the kind of fullness of brass, but it also has some of the kind of the punch and complexity of a Superphonic aluminum. I love that drum. I toured with it for a year, playing all different sizes of rooms and theaters and clubs. And it didn't, I only had to tune it one time in like a run of 35 shows. It just sounded good everywhere. So yeah, the Power Tone is probably a bit of a hidden gem if you can find one for a good price. Kind of sits right in between, in my opinion, the classic aluminum Superphonic and the Black Beauty. Can you hear a difference from a drum that has a beaded shell versus one that doesn't? Probably not, but the thinner shell is really important for that sound. I think they were 1.5 millimeters thick back in the day, and the newer ones I think are 1 millimeter thick. So the newer ones are a bit thinner, and they definitely play a little bit smaller. The older ones are much fuller sounding. But yeah, the beaded shell, I haven't done any blindfold tests whether you can hear the difference, but I think that just implies that it's a thinner shell, so that's important versus a super thick cast shell. It's a totally different beast. The thin shells can do like a real kind of complex sound that the thicker shells can't. That's right where I had this drum. I know it's where I had it for recording because it's just a vibey sound. Wide open. Yeah, it's pretty low. 180. It's in between an F and an F sharp. But that's the kind of sound that translates really well to recording any kind of like backbeat stuff with guitars and bass. Now we're back up to the F sharp. And that to me is a darn near perfect, sorry I had the zoomed in camera angle on my face, probably making some weird drummer faces. This is like perfect gigging tuning. Like F sharp-ish. Like that's where I'm gonna leave it because I'm gonna start taking this drum out on some gigs. Just gotta figure out where the perfect spot for the wires are to where when it's all the way engaged is not choked. Yeah, I think that's the spot. For a wooden snare, do you apply the same thickness concept? In general, yes. A thicker wood drum is going to be, just by default, probably a higher fundamental pitch. It's going to have more cut, and depending on how the edges is cut are shaped, if the edges aren't sharp enough, it can be a very boxy sound. Conversely, a super thin shell can really kind of blow out and choke it medium and any kind of hard hitting, even moderately hard. So there's a happy middle ground depending on what you need. I have a bunch of stave drums that I almost never use unless I need something to really crack through. I have a bunch of solid steam bent that I use all the time. So this seems to be like the sweet spot between the chunky, super thick stave shell and the super thin, like 3-plies. The drum I use, the wooden drum I've used in the studio more often than anything else is a 6.5 by 14 single-ply birch, 1/4 inch thick. So yeah. Which wood hoops don't do much for me. Wood hoops I would stay away from unless you need something to sound. I think if you're playing a lot of low volume rim clicky stuff or like singer-songwriter stuff, those thick Yamaha style wood hoops could be an advantage. Or if you're playing any kind of like Afro-Cuban music or anything like that, the kind of like bass drum hoop looking ones with the claws, I would only use those if you're going for a real vintagey Levon Helm kind of sound. So it kind of makes your drum one-dimensional and limited. Because you hit one too many rim shots on those and they'll crack. I have a Thai maple, 12-ply maple I think, that Ray Ayotte made for me with thick wood hoops on it. That's my Matt Chamberlain circa, Fiona Apple era drum. Just sounds amazing, but it gets used very rarely anymore. What does 12.5 millimeters translate into inches? I don't know that off the top of my head. If it's anywhere around 1/4 of an inch and the edges are cut nice, not super round, it'll be a really nice sounding drum. 11-ply, yeah, I mean, you're probably getting to that quarter, depending on how thick the plies are. I have compared the same thickness drums, one with reinforcement rings, one without. The straight shell without reinforcement rings wins hands down. So for a plywood drum, I would almost always go to a straight one. So yeah, that's probably a nice drum. So I'm on like the 5th week of a deep dive on drum hoops. This is where I'll end it. Comparing every possible snare drum hoop, 10-lug snare drum hoop that is available on the market right now. Totally different experience recording them and listening to them as an audio engineer versus getting a couple drummers in a room and playing them. I won't spoil the surprise, or maybe I will. What I liked, the ones I thought I liked the most in the studio, I ended up liking the least acoustically in the room. And my friends who came over, they said pretty much the same thing, which was interesting. So the ones that recorded really well didn't feel or sound great acoustically in the room. Quite interesting. I think this drum sounds good. I'm not going to default to swapping the hoops, but if this started to if I felt like it wasn't giving me enough, a wide enough range of dynamics and tone, I would probably put on some 2.5 brass triple flange on these. Yeah, Felipe, I think that drum is probably great. Eight-ply, 10-ply, 12-ply, just depends on how thick the veneers are, but yeah, you got a good drum. If you could only have one snare drum, why is it always the next one? I've got an ebony drum being made for me right now, 100% ebony. That is probably going to be the destroyer of all drums. Question about the studio. I always play on some sort of carpet. I don't like super thick carpet, just a thin carpet or mat. I have a Black Widow drum mat that I use for gigs, which is really thin, but just anything aside from playing on the flat reflective floor is going to be better in my experience. But I would not play like on a big shag carpet. I'm just finally getting control of that Philly Joe sticking right, left, dead stroke, rim click, or a stick shot. All right, there you have it. The 5.5 by 14 steam bent Single-Ply Doc Sweeney pure elm 16 strand wires. Don't look at that head. Evans G1 coated. It should have a 300 series bottom. I just never swapped it. Killer drum. I think it's gonna go into my gig bag for a lot of these like dance band shows we've got coming up, and a New Orleans Mardi Gras gig coming up. Still haven't found the spot where I like the wires the best. We'll leave it right there. All right, have a good one. It is, I don't know what day it is, Tuesday. Trying to be back on here at least one more time this week. Still working through syncopation. This video will live on my channel public. So anything that's a lesson gets put on my Patreon page so you can watch it later for $1 a month. Anything that's gear focused, I'm going to keep free on the public page. So if you want to check us out again, it will be on my page as soon as I go over there and change it to public. Snare weight's great. Probably the best commercial dampener out there right now. A lot of my friends use it. I have the original heavy brass thing. They're amazing. Moon gels, hate them. I wish I never had to use them. They don't, Moon just don't give me enough weight or mass, so they end up making some overtones worse. And then the drum just gets too dead. And they're sticky and they stain your head. So I do not like Moon gels at all. All the Snare weight stuff is incredible. Otherwise, I'll just use gaffer's tape or whatever else I can. These big fat snare drum quesadillas are cool, but Moon gels, hate them. On that note, I'm out of here. See you next time.